Hello everyone. Welcome to day 27 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Today our sketch is created by Sara Scraps. As you can see, this one features a great big circle with a strip of 3 photos and about 3 little clusters and kind of a vertical looking title down by the photos. The 2 photos I'm going to be scrapping are my husband and I at the Grand Canyon being kind of silly. And I'm going to be using a kit I got a while back from Not Just for Boys. This first sheet I love. It's Bo Bunny and it's the Bella Rosa shutters. I've been kind of saving this. I didn't quite know what to do with it. And I decided I'm going to use it today. I also have some Minte from the Harmony collection. Excuse me. And we also have another Bo Bunny sheet, and it's from the Double Dot Designs, and it's the Peaches and Cream Vintage. I also have the chipboard stickers from Minte's Harmony collection as well, and I'm focusing mostly on the word strip stickers there. What also came with the kit is I got some of these wooden buttons. I don't remember if these were a la carte or if they came with the kit. I have this wooden dream catcher, and then there are a couple of metal dream catchers. There are these wood grain sticker alpha that I'm going to be using on this page as well. And then we have some thickers in Memo, I believe is the collection it's called. And it's kind of like a rose gold foil for that. And that is everything that I'm going to use. I believe that everything here came from a specific kit. I can't remember the name of it. It was a while ago. And I got it on sale at Not Just for Boys. And all of this was part of that same kit. Okay, so as we remember, today's sketch has that great big circle on the background, and I was not really feeling the circle, and I honestly wasn't going to do today's sketch because I wasn't really feeling the circle. However, I was watching, can't remember her name now, Nikki, on YouTube. And if I remember her last name here, I have no idea why it has spaced out, but she was making a piece with a very busy, like wordy piece of paper. And she just kind of did this haphazard cutout in the center of the paper. And I really liked that. And it sparked my creativity for this particular sketch. Since I wasn't feeling the circle, I thought, well, I have a few pieces of paper that I could kind of work with that. And so as I was going through kits, trying to figure out what I wanted to use, I came across this paper and thought I could use that. So thanks, Nikki. And it's like Nikki Claire Creates is her handle. For some, Nikki Rowland, there we go. That's her name. I have no idea why that blanked out. So thank you, Nikki, for that inspiration. And so I decided to kind of use what she had done by just kind of cutting out a different sort of shape from the center of a paper. I had wanted to use this one that had a bunch of travel like emblems and things on it and tickets, but it wouldn't work. Everything was a little bit too uniform. So when I pulled this out, I really loved the colors, especially with my Grand Canyon photos. And so I decided to use these shutters instead. And I do like how it came out. It's different, and it has the feel that I wanted it to have. So that is why I chose what I chose and why I cut out the center like I did. I messed with it a little bit. I'm not even sure if I'm quite done with all of the cutting out. I kept putting my pictures back in spot to see if I needed some more cutout, and apparently, yes, I still did. So I came in with, I think I come in with my scissors at some point if I haven't done that already, but also with my X-Acto knife, and I just kind of cut out more of the shutters. Sometimes I just cut a piece off, sometimes I cut them in the middle. I was trying to leave them whole, but it just didn't work for what I really wanted to leave them whole. So I didn't mind cutting some in half or cutting more off from some than I normally would have to begin with, to just kind of get myself the space that I wanted in the center of the photo, or I'm sorry, in the center of the layout. So I'm just about done, I think, cutting out all of the pieces. I left this in so that you could see how I kind of decided what was going to stay and what wasn't going to stay, and how I came up with the final, the paper, the final way. All right, so I stuck it back onto my background sheet. I did cut the shutters page down to 11.5 by 11.5 so that we could see a little bit of that background from Minte all the way around the edges. I did go ahead and distress the outside and the inside edges of the shutter paper so that there will be a bit of dimension and it will stick up off the paper in certain areas. I do kind of play around with this a little bit because I'm not quite sure how I want it to lay. I don't know if one way is going to work better than the other. I guess I did that a second ago. And I did decide the original way I had it laying down was the way that I wanted it to go. So I did go ahead and I attached it down just around the edges to the background page. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to mat my photos. I'm going to do just one single photo mat for both photos, and it's going to be slightly longer on the bottom to end up being a base for some word strips and for some embellishments. With this, I did go ahead and distress the edges as well. I'm just using the my scissors today. I don't know why. Sometimes I use my scissors, and sometimes I use my scuffing tool. I guess I was lazy and didn't feel like pulling out my scuffing tool, so I just used my scissors instead. Okay, so here I am pulling out that dream catcher, just kind of playing around with placement on the sketch. There is a little embellishment cluster over there on the right-hand side. So I'm kind of using that as inspiration for where I'm going to put that dream catcher. So here at the bottom of the photos, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of the word strips. The one I just added said, "Be stronger than your excuses." And then the second one says, "Believe in yourself." I thought this was very apt for the photos that we had here as we were celebrating a victory at this point. I mean, honestly, we were just being silly, but we had walked a really long way when we came to this sign. So I thought it was kind of funny to just kind of focus on the silliness of the moment. I did decide to go ahead and put a little bit of ink around the outside. This is just an old Stampin' Up pad. It's pretty old, so I don't even know if they still have that color. It's something time. I can't even remember what it is now, but it was many, many years ago, probably close to 10 or 15 years ago that I got that stamp pad, and I know how they like to change their colors up. So I just went ahead and put that just around the outside of my photo mat. And now I'm pulling a few things from the chipboard, the Minte chipboard. The one little banner says, "Be fearless." And then I did put a little circular chipboard piece that has a camera on it. And now I'm kind of just playing around with those wooden buttons. I love those wooden buttons. I think they are really, really pretty. And I am going to do a little bit more with them. Just a second ago, I was just showing you that I had cut out some flowers. As I was playing around with this, I realized I wanted some florals, so I pulled another sheet from that same collection from Not Just for Boys, and it was a Bow Bunny sheet, and it had these really pretty florals, but they were just like kind of on this almost like a nude colored background. And so I decided to cut some of them up, and at the moment I am using my shimmers in Olive You Truly and just pulling a little bit more of the green, the light green that is in the background paper, and just painting some of the flowers this light green. I'm also going to pull out like a peachy color as well from my orange shimmers. I'm going to show you in a second. It's Sun-Kissed. It's an Inklings called Sun-Kissed, and I'm going to use those on some of the flowers as well. In a second here, I will skip ahead so that you can see me paint a little bit of the Sun-Kissed color. There I go. I'm all done with the green, the I Love You Truly, and now I'm going to do some of the flowers in Sun-Kissed. When these get done, they're really shimmery and shiny, and I like how they catch the light. I love that about shimmers. That's part of the reason I use them more than I use like my inks. I have so many ink pads from Stampin' Up. I also have some Distress Oxides, but I'm always reaching for my shimmers because I just love that shiny, glittery effect that it has. You can see up there with the light how it's hitting the upper, well, actually all of those flowers. And I just love how it shimmers and shines on the page. I'm using those same colors of shimmers to paint the feathers on the Dreamcatcher, and that's the I Love You Truly and the Sun-Kissed from Shimmers. And then I'm going to grab this powder. It's Color Sparks powder in the color Sepia, and all you do is just put the little bit of it's like a powder. It's in powder form. You put that down and then you add water. And I love this sepia tone. It actually really matches the dark brown of those buttons pretty well. So I'm really happy with this color. Couldn't really leave the Dreamcatcher plain because the rest of, I didn't have any more wood grain anyplace else that was that plain color. So I needed to color it in. So I did go ahead and paint that with the sepia. And now I'm just doing a little bit of sprinkles because I knew I wanted some of the sepia sprinkles and I had it sitting there. So I decided to just add it before it dried up. Otherwise, I usually wait to the end, and I will do some more at the end, but I wanted to use what I had sitting there. So I went ahead and I added a few little tiny sprinkles to start with. I'm breaking into the thickers now, and I'm going to start on my title. First, I just try to kind of eyeball it. I will take out my T-square ruler. I grabbed the wrong thing there, and now I'm going to grab my T-square ruler and just kind of line these up a little bit. I'm not going to make you watch all of it, but I do the main title in the foiled. It's kind of a rose gold foil thickers. And the main title is Victory because, you know, we're kind of have our victory stances there. So I thought that would be kind of cute. And then I am going to add, in a second here when I get these placed back again, I'm just placing them here. They're not really glued down all the way yet, but I want to see where I want to place them so that I know if the title's going to work where it's at. So now I'm going to do the secondary title, and it is going to say Trail of Time, which was, there we go, which was what we were doing when we went to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. We followed the Trail of Time, and it says we walked 2 billion years in time. So that's what that sign says. It says like, congratulations, you have completed the Trail of Time, 2 billion years into Grand Canyon history. So that was kind of neat. And they had all of these little signs and markers along the way. We didn't really know what we were following until we came to this sign and we're like, oh, apparently we have walked 2 billion years in time. So that's why we were doing kind of the silly motions there. I did go ahead and I glued down the all of that cluster over there with the Dreamcatcher. And now I'm just kind of trying to decide what I want to do with these little buttons. I'm going to add more than the 3 I had, and what I want to do with the little metal Dreamcatcher. I do decide to leave it right there. I like how it shows up in the center of the flower. It seemed to show up better, so I really liked it there. And then I wanted to bring a little bit more of that foil with the letters in. So I took a few of the little squigglies. It looks like maybe they would have been like parentheses, something you could have put around a word like a parentheses. And so I just took one and I put it in the upper left-hand corner and then one in the lower right-hand corner of the photo strip. And then I have found a few dots on the page that I'm going to sprinkle around here. I'll skip ahead so you don't have to watch me. I was struggling with getting the adhesive off the back of the sticker sheet, so I cut that part out. But I have a couple above the wind catcher. I have a couple above the top cluster, and then I have a couple down below the bottom cluster. And I'm just using some glue dots to go ahead and place down my metal dream catcher here. I'm going to add another one up to the top just so that it holds on to the flowers just a little bit there. So I've got that all down. And I lost one of my dots, so I went and grabbed another one. It just like flew off from there when I was trying to place the dream catcher. Who knows why? And what am I doing here? Okay, so I'm starting to glue down the buttons. They wanted to just pop right off my page, so I have to hold them down for a second so that they catch the paper and start to hold on. That little part right there, that was really funny where I'm putting the button right now. It kept wanting to throw the button out of there earlier. I didn't know if I would be able to put one in there, but I was able to get it to stick. And I'm going to add another 2 of these buttons down in that bottom cluster to kind of bring that wood grain down there, since we have kind of a big area with the dream catcher up on that right hand cluster over there. And I love that dream catcher. I think it's really, really cute. And I've been wanting to use it, but I just haven't had the layout that I felt like it was appropriate. And I felt like it worked really well with this layout. Okay, so I'm still kind of trying to decide what I want to do up there with that circular sticker. And I did find another fishtail banner here that says never give up. And so I decided I wanted that there in the corner of my photo, and then I'm going to tuck the camera chipboard piece right there behind the photo. And I like how that looks. I think it turns out really cute in the long run there. And I'm just making sure everything is glued down. There's a few areas I needed to add a little bit of glue or a little bit of tape so that it wasn't sticking up funny. And then I have one last little thing. It says no doubts, and it's another one of those word strips from the chipboard sticker sheet. And I did put a little glue on that because nothing wants to stick to shimmers. I need to use a little bit of liquid glue to get that to stick. And I think that's close to everything. Oh, I am going to go ahead and put some more splatters on here. I just wanted a little bit more and a little bit bigger splatters because the first ones I had were real tiny, and I wanted to get some of the splatters on top of the embellishments. There were already a few on top of the flowers, but I wanted some on top of the chipboard pieces and on top of my little dream catcher and everything, just to kind of make it feel a little more cohesive and like everything blends together and works together really well. So there we go. I have got my splatters done, really simple. And now for the slowdown here, you can see all of the dimension and the different size splatters there. I love the shininess of the foil and of that metal dream catcher, all of the shimmer on the flowers. I think that turned out really cute. I think my favorite part is this dream catcher though. I really, really love how that turned out with the shimmers paints and the sepia tone. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. This was day 27 of Christy's Beautiful Life. Make sure you click on the hashtag so that you can see what everybody else has done with this sketch and other sketches throughout this whole challenge. And I hope you found something today that inspires you on this piece like I did with Nikki's piece today. And I will see y'all next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.